Howdy everyone, Pocho here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we are jumping into the event raid. It's going to go over the 4 different raids and everything you need to know. The maps I am providing will be in my Discord server. The link is in the description below. If you do not have access to Discord or you don't want to join my server, that's fine. There is an email link below as well. Shoot me through an email, I'll send them to you. Happy to do that and help you guys out. So jumping into the Celestial Gates 1, you need 9,000 portal stones. These raids will require light heroes only, so hopefully we should be okay. Light heroes are pretty strong in the game compared to most dark heroes. I mean, we've got the best resurrection heroes, the best healers, I mean, in general. You've got decent damage dealers, you've got some great tanks. So hopefully this raid is the easiest of the 3. Looking at the bottom of the first map, you have the same selection throughout the whole bottom section, which is Knights of the Council and Roland Allies. These are the heroes all people start off with. However, are you investing in them is a different question. There are some you do put time and effort into. Most of them are forgotten pretty quickly. But it is a starting raid, so hopefully it should be okay with the ones you've got. Moving up to the first bosses, you have Angram and Jag. These require Knights of the Council, Roland Allies, and then with Jag you have Dwarves, and with Angram you have Children of the Forest. And that is the same for the colours above these 2 bosses. Above Angram is the same, Knights of the Council, Roland Allies, Children of the Forest. And on the right hand side you have Knights of the Council, Roland Allies, and Dwarves. This will push you up into the final section of the map, which is the same color across the board, so the same types of heroes, and it's going to require the same 3 or 4 factions for the 2 mini bosses, the nodes, and the final boss. So the bosses are Akrashat, Shadow, and the final boss Roland, requiring Children of the Forest, Archons, Dwarves, and Dragonkin. And then you have the nodes as well, which are the same selection of heroes. Really powerful selection of heroes. I don't know too many people doing this map that would have Archons, and if you do have Archons, this probably isn't the map you're going to be doing. Dwarves, Dragonkin, again, not heroes you would have at this level. However, you probably have a Karana, which would help you a lot, and Children of the Forest. So this last section of the map is actually really interesting, because these are 3 factions that are quite hard to get to a usable level at this early stage of the game. But if you've got them, you've got them. And they're great heroes. Definitely would help you with the last section of the map. But that is the first map, the easiest one. And you should have enough heroes to get some way through it, hopefully. Moving on to Celestial Gates 2, requires 13,000 portal stones. And we have a wider selection of routes to enter through. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all combine pretty easily, though. Just making sure you have characters or players, breaking off and getting these inside routes, and you should be fine. At the bottom we have 2 different selection of heroes. On the left hand side we have Knights of the Council, Wild Elves, Dwarves, Roland Allies. Right hand side we have Knights of the Council, Children of the Forest, Roland Allies. So they have 1 selection less than the left hand side, but they do have Children of the Forest. At this point of the game, though, I think Wild Elves would be pretty strong, though. Wild Elves have always been a pretty decent survivability team. And when it comes to raids, survivability is pretty strong as you're versing waves of enemies, not just one team. It's 4 teams or 3 teams. So Wild Elves pretty good. And then you go up to the first bosses, which are your Aratar and your Cage, which you need the same heroes as the side of the raid you are on. Moving up into the middle section, you have a fair few changes to the heroes you can use. You've got Archons, Wild Elves, Children of the Forest, Dwarves, Barbarians. So Barbarians and Archons being thrown in there. Do you have Archons at this stage of the game? I'm not sure. Maybe you've got lucky on some RNG chests, or maybe a Sacrif. But I mean, Archons are going to be so powerful in this raid. So if you've got them, good on ya. It's the same for the bosses, Tricky and Pride. These will be the 2 bosses, as I said, on their side of the raid. You're using the same heroes. Moving up into the last section of the raid, it combines the same selection of heroes across the board. You have 2 strong bosses, so final bosses of this raid. You have the Guardian and Hound. You'll be able to use Archons, Wild Elves, and Retribution Squad. So again, really 2 strong teams to be using in the raid. Retribution Squad, I mean, I don't see maybe 1 hero from here. If you've got these characters, though, you should be fine. we all know the Guardian. We've versed him before. He can be a nuisance, but he's not the boss of the 4th raid. This is only the 2nd raid, the 2nd easiest, so he shouldn't be too much to deal with. Other than that, pretty straightforward, good selection of heroes, and you should do okay in this. I assume you will have some Wild Elves at this point. If not, just keep working what you got. I probably wouldn't be making event raid heroes your primary focus. In terms of light raid, though, a lot of these heroes are just good in general. So you would be working on Archons, you would be working on Wild Elves. Probably not a priority, but Children of the Forest, definitely something you should be working on. Again, yeah, I think you're pretty safe. It's just the Archons seem a bit early to be using. Very early. I mean, Artis, very, very late mid-game to late game hero before you unlock him. So it's just the 2nd raid. Do what you can and push what you can to get to the 3rd one. To be honest, that's all it is. You're just progressing, trying to get to the 4th raid. Moving into Celestial Gates 3, 16,000 Portal Stones. The first 3 maps are the exact same as the other event raids. They're just being distributed with different heroes throughout. So there's nothing, it only changes in the 4th one. So one map covers them all. It's just the heroes that change, but as you can see, it's the same strategy as the other 2. You have 4 points of entry, but you have to make sure people are spreading out and getting these side parts, and no one is missing these, okay? This is a little bit of a pain, just making sure you're going right across or you're going up to here. Just double check what you're doing before you jump to a node. Make sure you're on the right spot. As you can see at the bottom of the raid, there are 3 selection of heroes to pick from. On the left hand side we have the Barbarians and Keepers of Arat. In the middle we have Wild Elves, High Elves and Forest Shamans, and on the right hand side Dwarves, Beastmen and Forest Shamans. So first, Son of Beastmen, that's really good. I mean, they're not really a raid team, but being available, it's the light raid, you're gonna see all factions available to you. You make do with what you've got. Wild Elves, again, really good. Barbarians, not the best raid team. Oh, they're not built for taking on waves of enemies. They're built for one fight and that's it, not waves of it. So Keepers of a Rat, probably going to be your point here. But, I mean, Barbarians are a faction you'd probably be working on. So if you've got them, you've got them. Wild Elves, so good. I mean, Wild Elves are just going to be so useful in these raids. And then you've got Beastmen, Forest Shamans, and Dwarves. If you've got Troran, you should be okay, to be honest. I don't know. This probably Beastmen or Forest Shamans, mixing a little bit here and there, see what you can come up with. You'd probably go the standard Beastmen team and chuck on one of the... I can't remember off the top of my head. Is Cathbad a Forest Shaman? I think he is. If not, my apologies. Anyway, moving up to the first bosses, you have Emperor, Blood Emperor, and Sharazar. So Barbarians, Keepers of Arat, Dwarves, Beastmen, Forest Shamans. So same heroes as their side of the raid map. As you enter the middle section here, the 3 different routes turn into 2. So the right side and the left side, with this middle part joining their respective sides as well. So on the left hand side you have Barbarians, High Elves, Archons. At this point of the game you should probably have some Archons available to you, so even an Ilios. If you've got an Ilios leader, that's probably going to be pretty effective. Wild Elves, Beastmen, Forest Shaman. So you've got Wild Elves on the right hand side, so this middle section shouldn't be all that hard. It just depends on if you're working on these heroes, obviously. I say not so hard if you're working on the heroes. If you don't have them leveled up, then yeah, it's still going to be hard. Okay, and then you have Saber and Idril as the bosses, with again the same side as they are on, the heroes as the same heroes as the nodes below them. So Barbarians, High Elves, Archons, Wild Elves, Beastmen, Forest Shamans. Finally pushing into the final section of the map, which joins together with one color. You've got Dwarves, Druids, Archons, and for the 2 final bosses, Colonel and Cage, same heroes. Really good selection of heroes, Druids and Archons. I mean, light side is so much better than dark side. I mean, I think we're going to start getting some decent dark heroes now with the Renegades, and that Belladonna healer seems pretty good. But at the same time, those heroes aren't really available in the event raids. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to do. They're probably just PvP heroes, to be honest, unless new content comes out. So, pretty standard raid. Make sure you're spreading out and you should be fine. Moving into the final raid, the hardest of them all, Celestial Gates 4 requires 18,000 portal stones to enter and has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of entry. And this will be a different map to what we're used to, as it's the final map. At the bottom, we have 3 different sets of heroes you can use on the left-hand side. We have the Wild Elves and Forest Shamans. Middle, we have High Elves, Harbingers of Dawn, and on the right hand side, Barbarians and Archons. At this point in the game, you should have availability to all these heroes. Again, just depends on what level the heroes are at. That's a personal thing, but probably going to have the most trouble with the middle faction, as Archons are going to be carrying you on the right hand side and Wild Elves carrying you on the left hand side. So, and Wild Elves, High Elves. Really? What are they going to do in the final raid? I mean, it's probably you're going to have to use them or a mixture, but buckle in if you're in the middle. You've got your Blood Mage and your Infernus as your first bosses, requiring, again, the same heroes as their respective sides. Moving into the middle section of the raid, the middle third selection of heroes has been eliminated, combining this with the left hand and this with the right hand side. So you have Wild Elves, Children of the Forest for your left-hand side. So really good factions there. And on the right-hand side, you have Keepers of Arat, Archons, and Harbingers of Dawn. Again, they should serve you pretty well. Moving into the bosses, you have Chrome, Goblina, Sweet Lips, all thicky there, Daimyo, and Phoenix. So each side has 2 different bosses. And they're using the same heroes as their respective sides. So again, as long as you've got the primary ones, Wild Elves and Archons, should be okay. Chrome is going to be an interesting boss because Chrome is a powerhouse. Fun times. Okay, moving into the final section of the raid is a combination, same across the entire board, and we've got High Elves and Children of the Forest. Very interesting factions to be using for the final slide of the raid. High Elves. I wish this was Wild Elves. High Elves, so you're probably going to be relying on Children of the Forest. We have Librarian, which is really interesting to see Librarian as a boss. We have Pig Boy. These are the mini bosses. Then you go up to the final ones, Fyra and Lael. So I think Fyra would probably be the harder one, just because he's got AoE. And AoE bosses just ruin people. So it's a shame Archons aren't up here. It's good the whole way, and then you get to here. But Children of the Forest, I mean, Bjorn, you're just not going to hide Lucky. They'll kill Lucky. Bjorn will go Berserker mode, and you hopefully just smash the bosses. That's the plan. Yeah, I cannot see. I could be wrong, but I cannot see High Elves being super effective in this raid. Not the 4th raid. I think they would just be obliterated. But they're available to you. So if you've got them, use them. Hopefully some people come up with some combinations of heroes you can use that will serve you best. But these are the 4 maps, like I said, available in my Discord server, or shoot me through an email, and hopefully you guys progress. Like I said, aim for that 60%. In the final raid, 60% is the goal. There are only a handful of clans. I think not even 5 at the moment that can do 100% constantly. So find a clan that's doing that 60%, get the best rewards, boost your account, become stronger, and progress. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you are in the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.